Hello and welcome. This presentation and my assignment today is to take you through generally the very powerful Unicity Compensation Plan and to give you some insight as to therefore what things you should be doing to maximize its potential for you. Keep in mind though that no matter the plan or the algebra or calculus and circles and lines behind it, the bottom line is always the same. Your assignment is simply put twofold: to buy and use and become a product of the product, to share that product with others and have them have that same benefit, and then to find, help, aggregate people that do the exact same thing. You get paid based on product movement. So move the product as well as build an organization that does likewise. In this presentation, we'll cover 8 specific areas and do some deep dives. We'll highlight the general principle and then give you some examples, cover the theory and then give a practical illustration. My suggestion is that you go a third step, is we'll go through the theory, we'll give you a general illustration, and then you map your plan or your organization to this. Nothing will help you learn it, understand it, and intuitively get it than to see how this applies in the business that you're looking to build and the plans you have or the business you currently have. If you're coming from another company, then look how this plan would pay you significantly more when you overlay with the obvious adjustments, the volume that's being generated where you are. We'll cover these 8 areas. We'll cover some of them with more depth than others, just to give you an idea again of the power and to make sure you understand where you should apply your effort for maximum return for you. The algebra is one thing, the structure is another, and all those mathematical things are important. But equally as important are the underlying principles. For example, it always makes me smile how every company and their advocates talk about my plan's better than your plan, and this style of plan is the flavor of the month, and you should be here because we have this style of plan, etc., etc. Sorry if I appear a tad disdainful. At the end of the day, there's only really 2 measurements that matter as relates to this industry and compensation plans more specifically. Number 1, does it pay out enough? Enough is defined in my mind as 50%. This is a partnership. 50-50 partnerships are great. Now, we could claim more or want more or demand more, but the only way the company could pay more is to skinny down on R&D or product quality or sales support or administrative functions. None of that we want. We want a healthy company that's going to be here tomorrow to pay checks. We want to be able to grow and develop and move forward. 50% for us, 50% for them does that. And Unicity is about there, slightly over from time to time. And number 2, notwithstanding what it pays, though ideally 50%, does it pay it out equitably? Is the right thing at the right time being rewarded the right way? As to extremes, if all the money's paid out at the front end, that's great, but you have to keep doing that same activity over and over and over. You haven't got any residual income, you've just got activity income. Or it could pay out a vast majority at the back end and create these wonderfully huge mythical checks that we all aspire to go get. Problem is, we starve to death as we're trying to get there. So the money that is paid, that is a partnership, that is enough. Is it paid out at the right place at the right time so that as you naturally engage in building the business, the right compensation is there to reward you for that activity and move you to that next level? Does it pay out what it does pay equitably? The answer for both those questions for Unicity is yes. Some of the other general principles more quickly. If you do more, you get more. If you're more productive, you should get a larger reward. If you meet certain next level criteria, you should get next level style reward. We do that. I also like a do X, get Y environment. Without being too algebraic, if I know my why, if I know where I want to get to, then I should be able to very clearly see what I've got to do to get there. What are the X's that lead me to that desired outcome or that Y? Or you could reverse engineer it. I know what I can do. I know these are the resources at my disposal, the time I can spend. These are my X's. What Y could I naturally expect as I engage those things in that business? Do X, get Y is a great environment to go to work within. Economic alignment. The great thing with this business, this industry, and the personification of it in the Unicity's powerful plan is true economic alignment. Most often in the marketplace, it's a win-lose. I pay you less so I can get more. I've got to negotiate you down so I can keep mine. That's not the environment we're in here. I work with and for you and your benefit because I want to and because that's what's economically good for me and for you. We work for mutual benefit, maximized in our individual benefit. That's a wonderful environment and much misunderstood and much underappreciated in the general marketplace. It's also very important to know what you've got to do. If what I have to do is obvious, doesn't require a master's degree in mathematics, then it's more than likely going to get done. If it's simple, easy, and duplicatable, it's going to get done, and get done by an increasing number of people for their and for your benefit. A couple of other things more specifically as relates to the Unicity Compensation Plan. It's been around a long time. It's proven its mettle over the decades. You want something that has weathered the storms of life, up and down, the economics, the economy, etc., that does well in good times and is able to do equally as well in bad times, because they will both come. But you also want it to be current and present. My guess is you're not using MS-DOS on your computer where you're watching this or your phone. You're using a much more advanced operating system. But most of them are some derivatives of that original sound system. Same for us. We have proven principles, proven mechanics in our compensation plan, personified because we like to keep it up to date with the cutting edge technology, and you'll see some examples of that as we go along. Two of which are right now. Horizontal compression. It's our, and these words are important, proprietary, which means only we have it, process of allowing the excess width that may be in your organization beyond the requirement to help you qualify at a higher rank. We'll show some examples of that later on. Likewise, the ADP, the additional distributorship position, allows you in shorthand to become your own upline and be paid twice on the volume in that position. This whole industry is built on 5%. This allows you to be paid 5% plus 5% or 10% on the incremental residual volume. Unheard of except for here. Then you've got vertical compression, generational compression. These are different forms of the same thing, compressing volume down deep to be closer to you so it's included in your pay scale. Both of them work together and overlap in some cases for your benefit. Bottom line is it promotes the right behaviors to build a genuine, authentic, predictable, sustainable, and therefore compelling business. Yes, we're compelling, but we're compelling because we're genuine, authentic, predictable, and sustainable, and ultimately that's what we all want. This is a summary sheet that you want to get a printout of and refer to often. This is all the algebra and the grids and graphs and charts in one place. It's a great summary form to check yourself on and measure yourself against. We'll cover some of these orange headings in greater detail. Business development we will, team development we will. We'll do a quick visit on personal rebate. Organization development starts getting a bit more complicated, and President's Club is just the ultimate personification of building a wonderful organization. These are the numbers that you'll be paid on. A lot of numbers here, but we'll go through each of them individually to give you one, the theory, two, a working example of it so you can see how it works. But first things first, let's discuss a team. Yes, you're building your business, but you're doing it with and for a team of people who are also building their business, and here's the term again, you're economically aligned with them. Your team is you and your frontline. PV, and all these definitions are in the glossary at the back, is the personal volume done by you and through your individual distributor account by your customers. Your team volume is your volume plus those of your frontline, with a few exceptions that work in your favor, and we'll go through an example here. So, your team volume is your personal volume plus the personal volume of your frontline, irregardless of their rank, or goes through them if they aren't at 100 PV and therefore personally qualified. Using this example here. You've got your 100 PV in that aqua color. Green number twos, you've got left to right 250 PV, 1500 PV, 50 PV. That's all part of your level 2. And then your level 3, or the third category of your team volume, are the orange ones, 150 PV and 50 PV, for a total of 2100 PV. TV, I should say. That's your PV, what's done through your account, circle number 1. And then the green and the orange are all part of your team. Notice the orange ones aren't technically frontline to you, but for the purposes of calculating your team volume, they are, because the ones that are frontline haven't done their 100 PV. So again, we're reaching as deep as we can to help you get the thresholds as more straightforwardly or as easily as possible. That's something to keep in mind as we go forward. Now, going through these 8 areas, we'll cover these first 2 or 3 quite quickly, and then we'll deep dive on some of the other ones. Retail profit is straightforward. Business is fairly simple. You buy low, sell high, you make the margin. That's what retail profit is. As a distributor, you get to buy at wholesale, and we have a recommended retail price that you make those sales to your customers, either transactionally, belly to belly, or allow those customers to order through your account at retail. Number 2, business development or FastStart. You're beginning to build something here. The summary version of this is you get paid a percentage on the basis of your cumulative personal volume. Cumulative meaning aggregating over time. You can do $100 a month for 10 months to get to the 1,000 cumulative volume, or you can do 1,000 points of personal volume this month and be at that level immediately. This do X, get Y, this I know what I've got to do, take your time or speed it up at your own pace is exactly personified here. Using an example, let's say that you came in and you did 500 PV in your first month. You would then qualify for that 15% business development override on anybody new you bought in on their first 1,000 CPV. The extra 5% of the 20 that's not paid there goes to your upline who is fully qualified. There's a reason to be fully qualified. When you have achieved the 1,000 cumulative points personal volume, you then make the full 20% on the first 1,000 cumulative personal volume of anybody you bring in. They come in over time or immediately they do 1,000 points, you've made $200 on doing the right thing. Sharing the product, bringing people in to use and share and consume the product and build an organization is a good thing. You should be paid extra for doing that and for the work that's implied in getting them started well. Come back to this grid often. Make a plan to achieve your cumulative personal volume as soon as you want to, knowing that as each month goes by, you haven't maximized it, you are leaving some money on the table. Number 3, personal rebate. You're rewarded for the volume that goes through your personal account on the numbers indicated there. The main thing to keep in mind is this is based on the incremental dollar of volume. And so you can see the example there of a 500 PV month generates you $32.50. The 150 points from 100 to 250 and the 250 points from 250 to 500 times their respective percentages. Again, you do more, you get more. You do more personal volume, get a higher rebate, etc. Number 4, the team development bonus. This is about developing, as the name implies, teams. You're rewarded for doing the best thing. Doing it individually is great. Doing it with and for a team of individuals who are also doing it individually is even better. You begin to experience the magic of this word called leverage. Here's how it works. Irrespective of rank, based on your PV, not cumulative, but what you did in this particular month, you get paid a particular percentage. As indicated by the chart, these are the only 2 options. If you've done 100 PV, you get paid 3%. If you've done 250 or more, you get paid 5%. There's a reason to do more, get more. But what you're paid on is determined by what you've done in terms of width. If you have 5 active legs, active being 100 PV, then you're going to get paid 5 levels deep. If you have 3 active legs, then you're going to get paid 3 levels deep. Your width determines your depth. So sponsor those people frontline, help them do likewise, and you get paid on the depth that gets generated as a consequence. Maximizing your yield by doing 250 PV and by having 5 wide, you'll get paid 5 levels deep at 5%. And obviously anything in between 0 and that based on where you're at. But the maximizing the return here, and it is usually economically worth your while to do so. 250 PV, 5 people wide on your front line will enable you to get 5 levels deep at that 5%. That's the theory. Here's an example. You can see here this distributor, we'll call them U, have done 300 PV, and the orange is all of that first level because you've got non-100 PV people before. In case of leg A, you've got A1, A2, A3, all haven't done their 100 PV, so it keeps searching and adding up the volume until it gets to A4, who's done the 100. That's, in quotation marks, your level 1. So all those orange numbers aggregate to 699 points of volume. The 2 green numbers are your second level, even though genealogically they aren't there technically. Blue 100, gold 100, silver 100. You've now got a significant amount of volume that you're being paid on. And again, because you're 5 legs wide, you then get paid 5 levels deep. A great example. Again, come back and map your organization that you're intending to build or have the goal to build by end of the month, or actually have to see how you're tracking here to see where the gaps are that add value if you fill them. Number 5, the organizational bonus. This is where true leveraged income kicks in. You'll notice here that at the director level and at the presidential director level, they've been bolded and made slightly larger. The reason for that is, aside from building your team and becoming a manager, those are the milestone ranks. 1, because you're demonstrating by virtue of your performance that things are starting to move, both through your own effort and through the efforts of others in your organization. But more importantly, the rewards kick in at a more meaningful rate when you get to those points. Note at director, you don't just get an incremental generation, but you get incrementally 2 generations when you get to that rank. Significantly worthwhile. Likewise, at presidential, you get incremental 2 generations, generation 8 and generation 9, when you hit that rank. Extra reward for reaching a significant milestone. And this business really is quite simple. Your job is to come in, buy, use, consume, become a product of the product, and then find and help others do the exact same thing, which aggregates you either quickly or over time to manager. Then, and simultaneously, all you do is turn and help those people that have joined you, as you did, to do what you've just done, which is make manager, which plus or minus will get you to director. The magic of this business is you helping others do what you've just done, and you're the most qualified to do that, helps you get where you want to go. In this case, help your people become manager is going to segue you towards director. Then once you get to director, you help them become director because you've just done it. You're most qualified to teach it. Gets you to presidential director. And those milestone ranks, as indicated, give you significant extra depth and payment. This is on top of team development. Don't forget the levels that are the 5 levels paid there. This generational by team is paid as well as that, on top of that, if you will. And there are other rewards for making director and presidential that kick in at those particular levels. Now, I've thrown around a term called generation, and here is an example of a generation. Simply put, a generation is a team, a group of people that form a manager unit. Like an individual was for levels, teams or managers are for generations. So a great shorthand is an individual equals a level, a team or a manager equals a generation. And here is an example here of how a first generation is calculated and a second generation is calculated. Generations obviously go significantly deeper than do levels. 12 generations, which is how deep our plan pays, is a significant amount of depth. Now, some may look at it and say, well, generations 10, 11, and 12 were only 1%. That's not a large percentage. That would be true. But 1% of $1 million is no small amount of money. And by the time you're 10, 11, 12 generations down, there is a large amount of volume down there, and even a very small percentage on that is no insignificant amount of money. Number 6, this is a great demonstration of that milestone rank of director, the rank bonus or the lifestyle bonus. Just for obtaining and maintaining that rank, you get that bolded bonus indicated down the bottom there, 150, 250, 500 for the director level ranks, jumping to 750 at the presidential director and onwards. It's basically a do X, get Y. If you make that rank, you get those dollars. as well as the levels, as well as the generations, it begins to compound very much in your favor. Now note the highlighted row here of active legs. Another reason to have these 5 legs. First reason was you get paid 5 levels deep on team development. Second reason here is it qualifies you for this extra thing. You do more, you get more. You're required to build 3 legs, but we want to encourage you to build 5 legs because that introduces significantly more stability to your organization. So note, if you will, the small print here that 5 active legs of 100 PV are required to qualify for this bonus. And there is another reason we'll get to later on as to why 5 legs and beyond actually plays in your favor even further. Now, we spoke about director being a meaningful rank. That's why it was bolded, because you get the rank bonus. Now, here's the reason why presidential was bolded. Independent of the 2 extra generations you get paid in depth, you also get a do X, get Y environment here, which is, if I make that rank and sustain it for 3 months in a row, I get these one-off bonuses. Key here is not just one and done, because we want to build a genuine, authentic, predictable, sustainable, real business. So 3 months in a row, you get these bonuses, and they are additive, in which case you get $10,000 for making director, presidential director, $20,000 for making sapphire, $40,000 for making ruby, $100,000 for making diamond. By the time you've made diamond, you've aggregated $170,000 US of one-off bonuses, as well as the levels, as well as the generations, as well as the maintenance bonuses, etc. Previous slide showed you another reason to make director. This slide shows you another reason to make presidential, sustain it, and move on from there. Keeping in mind here, your ability to accelerate through the ranks increases over time, even though some of the volumes may appear large. When you first start, it's just you doing everything. And then someone joins you, and then someone joins them, and then 2 or 3 joined them. When you have a group of like-minded individuals, all moving forward, economically aligned, but all for their own reasons, all of a sudden the acceleration of the growth of your business compounds significantly. When you've got 3 or 4 people that are running it, being director and making it, all of a sudden, without much incremental effort, just keep doing what you're doing, that pushes you through the ranks to presidential, and you begin to make some of these bonuses here. Again, highlighted is the 5-leg requirement, because that's just wise and prudent to do, and it's a do more, get more type environment. Another reason why the Unicity Compensation Plan is so powerful, as indicated, is this category number 8, the additional distributor position. Simply put, it's this. Once you become presidential diamond, you're allowed to sign up a new distributor who is you. You put that front line to your existing position. So there's you, number 1. Front line to them are your 3, 4, 5 legs, plus another one called you, number 2. The simple mathematics of which is you get paid your 5% as U number 2. You also get the 5% on U number 2 as U number 1, which means the volume in that second organization then gets paid net to you at 10%, to 5% individually paid. The ability for us to make legendary, largest incomes in the industry because of this compounding feature of you becoming your own upline is significant. Much underappreciated by ourselves, certainly not understood and appreciated by our competitors, but it is a significant tool for those that really want to build a significant long-term rewarding business. Now, we've spoken about this concept of horizontal compression back in the underpinning principles. There's another reason why you would want to build more than 3 legs. Remember, 3 is required, 5 is recommended for some of those bonuses, and here's another reason why you want to build more than 3. Personally, I've always been not very good at guessing how good people can be. I will work with and for you no matter what I think you may be able to achieve. But I've found that the ones I think are going to be great maybe turn out to be not quite so great. And the ones I'm thinking, well, I hope they do okay, but I'm not quite sure, actually turn out to be very, very good. So you can't just sponsor 3 people and build 3 great legs. And you're always going to have a big leg and a medium leg and a smaller leg and a few others that are new or just getting going, etc. Horizontal compression allows you to count those, we'll call them extra legs, beyond what's required towards your qualification. In this case, here is an individual with 5 legs, 1, 3, C, D, and E. that would have fallen short of the rank of director. But because C, D, and E for this month horizontally compress into one virtual new leg for the purposes of commission this month, we've now got a new leg 2 of 3,000. So now you have a leg of 1 of 5,000, a second virtual new leg for this month of 3,000, and a leg 3, which was your old leg 2 of 2,000. You're now director, which means you're getting those 2 extra generations of depth. You're also getting that lifestyle bonus. You're getting other things that you would not have otherwise have gotten because you didn't arbitrarily check a box with that third leg, in this case, leg number C. Also, what incentive would you have to work with leg D and E if they never helped you qualify? They'd feel like orphans stranded out there, never getting any of your time and attention. In this circumstance, you can love all, serve all, as the Hard Rock Cafe t-shirts would indicate, for their benefit and for yours. Again, we're reinforcing and underlying economic alignment. I'm helping you because it's good for you, but coincidentally, it's also really good for me, whether you fall in the criteria that the compensation plan artificially requires or not. Horizontal compression allows you to do that. And now an example at a higher level. This person, simply put, would have qualified naturally at Ruby, but with this, will qualify at Diamond. Legs C, D, E, and F sum to, with their 40, 35, 20, and 10,000, sum to 105. Instead of a leg 1 of 320, a leg 2 of 160, and without horizontal compression, a leg 3 of 40, and then some other stuff that I don't really care about, and becoming a Ruby, I'm now able to use D, E, and F to add to C to create a new leg 3 virtually for this month for commissions to get me to Diamond. Not only am I getting a higher lifestyle bonus, I'm also getting that $100,000 one-off bonus that I would have left on the table or had to work for later, or spend time in my smaller legs, which is time I'm not spending in the legs that are really going somewhere. Again, economic alignment. Do X, get Y. Do more, get more. Allowing all the good work you do to account in one way or another for your benefit. Nothing to me demonstrates the power of the underlying principles and the hidden magic of the Unicity plan than the ADP, the additional distributor position, to allow you to be paid on an ongoing residual basis 2 times 5% or 10%, unheard of in the industry, and horizontal compression, allowing, shall we say, in quotation marks, extra legs you happen to have built over time to assist you in qualifying for the next rank or 2 or 3. That shows you the DNA and the principles that we're built on. That's how we go to work. This is a quality plan that is worked by quality people to produce quality results, which maximizes and demonstrates and matches the quality of products that have again proven themselves over time. I've thrown a lot of terms around here, a lot of algebra, if you will, a lot of waving my hands in the air if you'd have seen me doing this recording. Here is a glossary of some of the terms to help you understand it. I would suggest you print off that grid, which has the orange categories there. I would suggest you map it to your organization, maybe review this presentation again. Certainly sit down with your sponsor and go through it as relates to your circumstances and your goals, and make a plan to maximize the yield for your effort, for the effort you put in and the rewards you get out. Listen to them. Engage in your getting started or strategy session. Begin to make some practical application of these general rules for your benefit. And then let the plan, your sponsor, me and us, go to work with and for you, as together we are economically aligned for your, and coincidentally our, great success and ongoing economic reward. Thank you and have a great day, and welcome to Unicity.